Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing pretty well. Welcome to our last homework. Basically, this is the task number 6. We are in the group of English 7. This is the task about English conversation. We are the group number 78, and we welcome to you. We are going to talk a little bit about our English experience. And for starting, I'm gonna start with Maria Fernanda. Hello, Maria Fernanda.
Hello, Samuel. Thank you. Well, my journey, I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey. And I will try to keep it real and simple because honestly, that's how my process has been. Well, I started learning English, like kind of late, to be honest. And it was around 10th grade in school. And so I wasn't one of those people who started as a kid. And so at the beginning, it was a bit confusing. Like, I didn't really know how to study or what to focus on. But something that really helped me a lot at that time was Duolingo. And I used it a lot in the beginning. And it gave me like a structure and like basic vocabulary and grammar. And it helped me feel more confident. So I know like it wasn't perfect, but I think it was a really good starting point for me. And now I think the most important part of my learning journey is starting in 2021. And that's when everything like changed for me. And honestly, the key for me has always been music. And I started to listening like a lot of artists, like a lot. And I first, I didn't understand everything, but I liked the song so much that, I wanted to understand the lyrics. So I started reading them and translating them, repeating them, and singing along. And I remember that without realizing it, I was learning vocabulary, pronunciation, and even expression. So I think music made everything feel natural, not like stringing. And so it didn't feel like force. um Over the years I keep and learning mostly through music, but also watching videos and practicing listening and just exposing myself to the language. So I think one of the biggest challenge was understanding fast speech, because native speakers speak really really fast. So at first it was like super frustrating for me, but little by little I think I got used to it. Right now I will say my level is around B1 or B2. I can communicate, express my ideas, and understand most conversations, but I know I still have things to improve, especially fluency and maybe some advanced vocabulary. Um, Here my goal is to reach at least a C1 in the future. So I know it's a long process, but I'm not in a rush. So I actually, enjoy learning English. So I want to keep improving step by step. And if I have to give one piece of advice, I will say that find something you really like, and like music, movies or series, and learn to that. Because when you enjoy the process, I think everything becomes so much easier. So yeah, that's basically my journey. I know it's still not perfect, but it's real, and I'm still learning every day. Thank you. Now we're going to hear to Tatiana.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Is classmates and tutor. Today I'm going to speak a little bit about my English learning process. At first, when and how I started learning English, I remember that my first interaction with English language was when I was 4 or 5 years old. I remember that my parents had a CD with English music, and I felt that we connected uh, with that language. I really like it. I really like to listen the same songs again and again. And so thanks to them. And then I realized that it was easy for me, English language in primary school and high school. I had good grades, and then I made some courses in the town where I live. So I realized that it was something that I will study in my next years. And one key challenge, two key challenge, or challenge that I have had during my English learning process is to acquire knowledge about or practice about speaking and listening skills. I think that, especially speaking, because I used to be insecure and I have a lack of confidence. So I consider that in that way, I need to improve. I need to improve more. And on the other hand, listening skills, it's really difficult for me to understand fast conversations. For example, when I watch a movie or series or something like that, it was really for me to understand those conversations. So I try to overcome those conversations and those I try to overcome those difficulties. And speaking, I try to practice in my cell phone. I have some apps. Uh, for example, I don't remember the name, but I have 2 or 3 apps that uh, it's helping me to improve my speaking skills. And on the other hand, on listening skills, I try to listen English music every day or some podcasts on Spotify. Um, Another effective strategies that I use is that in the place where I work, lives a native speaker. So I try to practice to him every day. Uh, and that's it. A memorable experience related to the English learning. Um, it's first with him, the first time I have interaction with a native speaker. Uh, I felt so nervous and so insecure about speaking to him, but he told me that I have to keep practicing, and he told me that I have good pronunciation and just have to keep practicing. And if I need some help, he can help me. And also, I remember that when I was studying in a English school. I had a teacher that it helped me. He helped me a lot because the activities that he made there in the school was only practice, only speaking, only listening. So, for example, we have to watch a video and we have to explain or to speak about that video, for example, for 3 or 5 minutes. And also, for example, we have to read a book, a short book, and we have to explain or talk about that book for about 5 minutes. So I think that those kind of activities are very useful for our learning process. And my current level, I consider that I am between B1 or B2 maybe, um, because I have some trouble with the speaking and listening skills. Yet, still, I am still have I still have those difficulties with those skills. And my future goals is obviously to speak fluently. became to a C1 level. So that's it. Thanks for your time. And my classmate Xiomara will continue with the presentation.
Thank you so much, Angie. So, like my partner say, my name is Yomara, and I would like to share with you my learning English journey. So, I started learning English at the school when I was around, I don't know, 6 years old, and at that time, I learned very basically topics such as the colors, greeting, and simple vocabulary. Most of the learning process was based on memorization, and sometimes even the pronunciation we learned was not completely accurate. And later, in the high school, the English classes focus most on grammar and vocabulary through traditional methods like the grammar translation, for example. Even though the classes were basic, they helped me build a foundation in the language. And as I continue learning English, I realized that one of my biggest challenges was the speaking. I usually feel nervous when I have to speak in English because I'm afraid of making mistakes or forgetting words. Listening comprehension has also been difficult for me, especially when speakers speak very fast, like my partner say. To overcome this challenge, I started practicing more in safe environments. For example, I sometimes speak in English with my friends about everyday topics like, I don't know, football. And I participate in speaking activities and speaking challenges the university, and in this case, in this course of English 7. And this experience have helped me gain more confidence and continue speaking even when I make mistakes. So another thing that has helped me a lot is exposing myself to the English in my daily life. I really enjoy to listening music in English and watching series and movies. And at first I used Spanish subtitles, but now I try to use English subtitles when the vocabulary is easier. And I also enjoy the reading. I really love reading. So I try to read simple books and articles about topics that interest me. For example, The Hunger Games, that are my favorite books. And in addition, mm, I changed the language of my phone to English to become more familiar with everyday vocabulary. The university activities and speaking practicing with ChatGTP have also helped me improve my fluency and my confidence. Uh, One of the most memorable experience in my learning process was realizing that I could start reading some of my favorite books in English and I actually understand them. Another important experience has been noticing my improvement during a speaking session. Even though I still get nervous sometimes, I can now express my ideas more clearly than before. And that motivates me to continue learning. So currently, respect to my English level, I consider my English level to be intermediate, but my goal is to reach a C1 level in the future. I want to become a language teacher with a strong knowledge of English and good communication skills. And I also want to speak fluently, watch movies without subtitles, and read more complex books without feeling limited by the language. Um, Thank you for listening to me. Samuel, now it's your turn.
Hey, thank you very much, Mara. Hey, I can see that you have a lot of experience practicing your English. I think that everyone started in the same way. Well, let me tell you a little bit about my experience with English. Practically, I started of all of you with a little a little fear about the communication, no? Because at the beginning was difficult to express the ideas. First of all, I started checking the social media. I think that one of my first teacher that I remember so much and I have the opportunity to participate with him. It was with Alejo Lopera. Alejo Lopera was one teacher on internet that I watched, and I started learning English with him through the social media. At the beginning, I catched anything. It was so really difficult to understand the text in which I was interested. Even the full videos that I was really into were really difficult to understand. Repeating over and over again was difficult to me, but I knew that that was the only methodology that could help me to understand and get the best of me. Challenges like everyone in the process when they are starting with English. Now, knowledge about the list of the verbs, it was clear to me. Even I had so much problems because I saw the list of the verbs, and practically I didn't understand how to use it. It was until I subscribed to an academy and I started to understand how to use the list of the verbs. The listening for me was a total problem because I couldn't understand even the single things that I understand because I was always thinking about what was the person saying in that moment. Some strategies which helped me for a lot, taking a notebook everywhere, all the moment, writing every single word, which I consider was important to me. The shadowing helped me for a lot, repeating practically every single word. And I started to repeat, for example, the accents and the words which says on movies. For example, about Terminator, I'll be back. And that helped me so much to increase the confidence about myself. How to interview, for example, if you have a mirror in front of you, that is like an interview that you are going to do yourself, and that's helped you for a lot because that is going to struggle with the things that you want to say. Imagine that you are an important person, and that is going to help you to develop the communication skills. Experiences. Wow, the English has brought to me so much beautiful experience. Know people in the foreign countries, and practically with English, it was as I knew my beautiful wife. Get a job as an English teacher, it was a big challenge because it was not only about the communication, it was practically about starting to help to the people learn English too. Traveling, I have known a couple of countries, so English open a lot of doors. Practically, you have to be all eyes and open with your life about these kind of opportunities. My goal, simple goals, but I think that is going to help to the people that I can. Yeah, practically I'm focused now on help to the people to communicate in English with confidence. I focus on those people who at the beginning they say, "No, teacher, I cannot," and I start with that person little by little, step by step, repeating over and over again until they get the confidence to continue for a long. Teaching to my son, I think that my son is one of the most important thing. Maybe he is going to continue my steps, maybe no, but I want that he continue with English to get his own goals. Having more time to do different things, obviously, now being a teacher, it gets a lot of time, but little by little, you are going to discovering different things that you can do with your knowledge about English, and that is going to open in more doors. And the idea is practically having more times. By now, I'm working 4 hours by day, and that is a big advantage. Okay, my friends. Well, practically it was Mafe, Xiomara, and Tatiana, and who is speaking Samuel Gutierrez. Thank you very much for your participation in this video. Hope you have enjoyed everything and see you in the next opportunity. Thank you very much. Mafe, Xiomara, and Tatiana, say
Thank
bye-bye.
you.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Bye.